Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am going to sprint through, hopefully. I say that because my kids have been so just kids today. I am going to try and run through my planner system. I know that I really always talk about every video is really a planner system video. I feel like, considering I do, I plan on my phone and my camera and whatever. What I'm trying to say is I'm going to do a formal planning system video. I did one of these maybe either last year, maybe even the year before. I don't even know. I remember doing a very formal planning system video. And I'm going to do that same thing really today. I felt very inspired to. I have a friend in this community. She's so sweet, and we always, if you're watching, hi. We always send planners at a friend price, but if I have a planner to sell, I reach out to her first, vice versa. And it's just a funny little relationship we formed. And so I sold this planner cover to her. I don't, of course you might be like, oh. But I did. I'm sure you probably noticed in some of my videos, oh, this light's gonna bother me. In some of my videos, it was not around. I was using my other black Vanderspec planner cover. And because there was a point in time when I wasn't really using my Hobonichi very much, I was using my Moleskine XL planner and just a notebook really. And I had a moment of weakness and I sold it, and it's just funny because I sold it to her, and then just recently she's like, hey, I'm ready to sell it back, and so she sold it back, and that's just how it works with us. So I'm very thankful for that. So in light of having it back, I'm going to run through just a planner system flip through. It's not going to be an all-inclusive every single page I'm going to show you. That's more of that's not really what this video is about, but just how I utilize both planners and what on the go looks like. Do I take both on the go? Do I not? Do I take only one? If I do, how do I choose which one? Does the same information go from one to the other? All of that kind of stuff. So, without further ado, have a sip of your coffee. I'm gonna try and figure out where this one spot is coming from. I don't even know where that one spot's coming from. Let me see if I can do anything really fast to make it any better, if that makes it any worse. Oh, that looks a lot better. Maybe not. Probably looks practically the about. Oh, that's better. Okay. So, let me also see. Should I turn this light on? Okay, there we go. That is business. So, moving on, planner system, Hobonichi Weeks Mega first. I always say this, I'm always wanting to walk on the wild side of things and try out the standard. This year I had a ton of stuff in my cart because there were a couple, I've always wanted, the colors that I've had of my Hobonichi Weeks have always been colors that I've really gravitated towards. I do wish that they had a bigger variety as compared to the standards and patterns and all of that. But I really enjoy with the Hobonichi Weeks Mega, that thick canvas cover. That makes my brain very happy. I enjoy the thick canvas cover. I all last year I wanted to try I knew I wanted, if the red was an option, I would want to try the red this year. And then just the year prior, I knew the year prior to that, if there was a yellow last year, I was going to use the yellow. But now I've kind of exhausted all of the colors that I really have wanted to try. So we'll see what September, October, whenever the release is, brings. I also, like I said, wanted to just for funsies, try the standard, because I'm really at a point that I think I could rely on just a standard. I think I could. And I always say this, so grain of salt here, because of how much I'm really leaning on this. I thought this was just going to be for fun. I never anticipated using this as much as I really have been. And I'll get into that in a minute. So in the grand scheme of things, do I think that I might be able to fit? Maybe. I don't know. I'm also at page 88, and I think the standards only have 70 something pages. But I've also put December daily stuff in here. I've put a lot of collections and health notes, and so who knows. I was going to try, what I'm trying to say is I was going to try the standard for funsies, but ladies and gentlemen, we have sold out like Hobonichi on Amazon. You cannot find a week's on Amazon, which I just think is so funny. So anyways, Hobonichi Weeks Mega, not going anywhere. It makes my brain happy, it makes my heart happy, it makes my mind happy, and that's just the way it is. So I don't, again, I'm not gonna like flip page for page. I'll do that in a different video, but I don't really use this page. I don't by way of like big stickers, or by like crossing off the dates. It's really just like a sticky note hub. But honestly, between you and me, like I feel like I don't even use the sticky note hub either because I just really like the way that it looks. Like I cannot actually find an instance or point in time that I would take any of these sticky notes. I would just like find new sticky notes to use instead of, because I just really like the way this looks. Same thing with this page. Like I don't actually like, when I pull sleepover sticky notes, I pull from my actual stash. I don't pull from this page. Always, as usual, like wish I could use this page. I was fully prepared to, but I haven't. There's one thing I was thinking about tracking. I've recently gotten like really back into working out, and I am tracking that very heavily on another page in the back. And I could put that just to see like 1 year glance at the front. And so keeping that in mind, I have like started to mark off days that I did and did not in the back, so that if I wanted to transfer it at the end, I could. That's like honestly all I can really think about putting here. Like certain habits that I don't want to put, it's like imposter syndrome. I don't want to put habits that I really want to start doing, because then I feel like we're creatures of habit. That's funny, I'm talking about habits, but we're creatures of habit, and like it's just not a positive feeling if like you're trying to start a new habit and then you open up this one page and it's always going to be the first page that you look at. And no matter if you're having like a good month or a bad month, you see all of the other missing spots. Like to me, that's just like the biggest mind F ever. Like I don't want that. I only want habits that I know that I'm doing really, and this sounds like just so superficial too. Like I only want to put habits that I know I'm doing well at in the front here, so that it doesn't like demotivate me from continuing those habits. Which is just so silly. Excuse me. I heavily rely always on a monthly. The months get filled with, it's like my catch-all, whereas my weeks are a catch-all, I guess, in a different way. Like those are very, those are like different types of tasks. Like this is the catch-all for the month prior, the month of, and the month looking back. So I've like thought about, you know, could I ever like do without a monthly? Like, do I need to rely so heavily on the monthly? But then I think about that if I ever wanted to go to like a different planner system where like I pulled months out that I wasn't using, like keeping only 6 months at a time. And it obviously big like different world talk, like if I was using a separate type of planner. But honestly, I'm the type of person that it just makes my brain happy to know that if and when I do need to look back and see, well, when did that happen? When did this happen? I can do that. And not having to pull different books. And it's just something about the archivability of the Hobonichi. And of course, you can archive anything, like as long as, you know, it makes sense to you. But this is what makes sense to me. And at the end of the day, as long as what you're doing makes sense to you, that's all that matters. Don't try and copy another person's like system just because it's like you think that it's so wonderful and it could work for you, because I have gone down that rabbit hole, and then it just like leaves you feeling like flustered, because then you're like, whoa, what am I doing right now? Like none of this, like it seemed like a good idea, but it's not making sense to me. And I say that loosely, like obviously we take influence and positive influence from so many people and we try different things. I do the exact same thing. But there's like instances you'll see like in the back that I've like tried pulling different things of different other people's systems. Like, not saying don't copy people's systems, that's not what I'm saying, but if you see something that you like with someone's system, try it and be able to like be self-aware enough to evaluate it after a few days, a few weeks, and be like, okay, I don't like the way that my brain has felt the last few weeks because I think I'm trying to do something that doesn't make sense to me. And then try someone else's, like part of someone else's system, or like, you know, just do at the end of the day what makes sense to you. And even if it doesn't look pleasing to the eyes, like you, at the end of the day, would much rather have something that doesn't look great on paper, but know that you have all your crap together in your head and your head feels calm looking at it because you know what is going on, other than something that you've like tried to tailor to look a certain way, just to look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm getting off that soapbox. So monthlies, again, very catch-all, very important and foundational to my planner system, because when I'm out and about, this is what I open up at a doctor's office. If I'm out and I'm coming back and I'm inputting things into my planner, I'm always opening up the monthly first. If I'm looking weeks ahead, I'm putting things in here like months in advance. So very, very important. I don't color code. I don't really do anything too special. It's just the place where I put the information. And just this month, I've recently started trying to like fill it up a little bit more, because I really liked how I did that in my 2022 Hobonichi. And so like if there's like a day that we did something worth noting, or like that was fun, I put it in there. So like I wrote sad feels, tacos help. Like I remember being really in my feels that day. My husband took me out for like nachos and it was such a good day. My daughter, we had a big sleepover at our house one day. Yesterday we watched the movie Elvis. Oh my god, I need to rewatch it again without the kids, because we had to stop it so many times and it was like such a life-changing movie. It was so good. So again, very just catch all. Sometimes I put little to-do lists here. You'll see that that's just like therapeutic for my brain, because again, I put things months in advance. And so I, like this month I wrote order Chewy for our dogs. Like I thought we were going to need to purchase their medicine too, and not just their dog food. But it turns out we don't need to do that this month, but we need to do it like between the 1st and the 15th of next month. So I made it very much more specific. Next month I wrote actually buy dog meds. So that, because I found myself this month turning to this page and being like, oh, and asking my husband like, we're supposed to order the dog meds. And he's like, no, we really don't have to. And so just make sure that you're always, I make sure that I'm always putting things in my monthly that make sense to me at the time, so that no matter what and when and what state of mind I'm in, I can open it and know exactly what my little notes mean to myself. My little love letter to myself, if you will. Yeah. And then, like I said, it's very therapeutic because I'll write it here, and then you'll see me write it a couple more times in different spaces, i.e. in my weekly, and then I'll like integrate it into my daily. Usually on the day that I do it, I'll put it on that daily, just so I know I can like track, okay, once a month around this time, or twice a month, 3 times a month, however it is, we know we need to purchase dog food. Dog food is so expensive, and with 2 big dogs, ooh. So just tracking all the things. So those are how I use my monthlies. Moving on to weeklies and how that fits into it. My weeklies always look a little bit different. They're always ever changing, ever flowing, and that's fine by me. So it's kind of hard to gauge exactly how and what I'm using my weeklies for, but at the end of the day, like the core of it is always the same. I put a mixture of to-do lists, memories, big to-do, like not just daily things, but like grand scheme, big picture to-do lists. So like micro to-do lists, I guess you could say, memory keeping, major to-do lists, meals sometimes go in here, and sometimes habit catching, but not always. It just depends on like what kind of mood I'm in, really. And yeah, that's really like what my weeklies encompass. There's nothing, I do sometimes mix some like work stuff in here and some just like personal stuff. It just depends. You'll see I'm not showing in this video my Moleskine XL spiral. I've been using that a lot heavily at work, and not that there's like sensitive stuff in there, but I'll probably like show a flip of that after I have like a few weeks to show, just so I can like quickly flip through everything and not, you know, ruminate on any certain pages or anything like that. It's really not that exciting in that notebook. It's something I've been using at work, and very bare bones, like that's it. Which I think has really also simplified my planning, because there was a point in time where I was like pulling so many different notebooks, and that's again fine. But the state of mind that I've been in recently, like I just need a streamlined process, and I don't need the added stress of the other things. Like right now, those other things feel stressful to me, and they don't. In a few minutes, I'll go get it.
I'm just there with you.
And sometimes those things like feel very therapeutic for me, and then other times I just like don't need. They don't feel as comforting, and I just want to like do what I need to do and then like beat feet out of my desk area. So weeklies, memory keeping, to-do list, little to-do list, daily to-do lists, work schedule, stuff like that. That's really the bulk of it. And then as far as like habit catching, it's okay, baby. It's okay. 1 second. As far as like habit catching, I'm always changing up like how that kind of looks. Like down here, I meant to put I still intend to put like a little photo down here. I was gonna like cut it out of something from the day like we went to the museum. I put my habit catching. I kind of like doing this on the side just to like really write down what days I'm moving my body, working out, that kind of stuff. Again, it just looks a little bit different every single week. And then my weeklies, again, I am not ever afraid of like planning a few weeks in advance. If there are times that if I do put something into my monthly and it's important enough, I will automatically flip to that week and put it into that week. I've already also, I was trying to like go through my stickers the other day, and I've used up a lot of stickers, and I don't put anything down as for a rhyme or reason. I just like, I'll find something to fill. Even if that day is a lazy day, I can write the word lazy day in that box. Like, I'll find something to fill these boxes with. Like, that doesn't give me any type of stress or anxiety any which way. And then moving on to my notes pages back here. My notes pages, I don't have like an index system or anything like that. I tried something different this year to put all of my not habit tracking, my family and myself's health tracking in the front. So I have pretty much all of the months there. I did get kind of burnt out, and I like put just a few pages that I need to fill the rest in. I have a few different type of collections in the back, and then I really go into, sometimes I was doing this like micro journaling kick, and I really did enjoy that. Then it kind of got to this point, just so funny how our brain tricks us. I say that, like I got to this point where I felt like I had to do this. I had to write stuff down. And then I was just writing stuff down and like kind of wasting space a little bit just to write something down every day. And I wasn't really feeling like I was as connected to it as I once thought that I was going to be, which is totally fine. And so I've kind of quite stopped doing the micro journaling, just also I think because I'm relying a lot more heavily on the A6. I do sometimes think about like going back into the micro journaling, just not trying to like train my brain to remember I don't need to put everything in here. This was also a point in time when I didn't have this because it was November, it was December. So I do want to use this maybe more for like smaller journaling. I just haven't gotten back into doing that. So we'll see. The proof is in the pudding, I guess. I do a lot of like memory tracking in the back. Again, micro journaling, you'll see the last day I stopped was December 31st, which is funny because January 1st is when this book started. That's really it. I put some notes, I put some workout logs. Like, it's very much just how I need it, when I need it in the back. Yeah, so that's that. That's really like the end of that. If you noticed, I had like one day where I partially started budgeting or like thinking about budgeting. I have not really been budgeting in here. I've kind of tried to take that out a little bit and separate it. I've also tried to like digitize, I don't know, our way of budgeting, and it just didn't make sense, I feel like, to use so many pages in the back for budgeting. Maybe that'll change. I think I also just got very overwhelmed very fast with how many pages in I was. But then I had to pull some of my old Hobonichis and remind myself, like, okay, by February you were on this page in this Hobonichi. So it did just kind of freak me out, like, oh my gosh, we're only in January and I'm already this many pages in, but I also need to remind myself in my previous Hobonichis, I didn't put a December daily. I didn't put all of my health pages all up front together. That was all sprinkled in, you know what I'm saying? So that is the Hobonichi Weeks Mega. It has a little back pocket. I don't even think, I don't have anything in there. I don't have any rhyme or reason to what I really put in the sides. It's just, it is what it is. So that's that. I will take this out and about with me. I haven't really honestly been out and about, which is sad to say, but like between work and then coming home, like, yeah, we haven't really been out and about doing much lately. Next is this. Lastly is this. I have really been enjoying it. I did not anticipate enjoying this as much as I would. This is the A6 Techo. I did not think I would enjoy this quite as much, considering how not interested I became with my Pocket Moleskine Daily. I was really hoping that this would be like the end all be all to reinvigorating that spark that I had with daily planning, this like memory journaling, memory keeping, like using something once a day, every day type of thing. Because I really did lose that with my Pocket Moleskine Daily. And however many days, 15, whatever day it is in, I'm highly enjoying this. It's something I pull for every day. I've even gone as far as to get this little supplementary book in the back to make it even that much easier to take just this out and about if I were to need it, or just like around the house. So, yeah. The way this thing works, it's, like I said, I'm not going to go like a full flip through, but it has the same type of thing. I'm trying to find a way to use these, just because these blocks are bigger, I do want to use this. This always happens though, like we're already halfway through the month, I don't know how to use it. I've thought about using like a word of the day to describe the day, which I can always kind of go back and do at like a midpoint throughout the month, because I use my daily pages so heavily and I do a lot of memory keeping and mixed in with my journaling, and so I could really think about and remember a lot of like what that day felt like or probably felt like. And I kind of want to do that and like tie a word to it. Just an idea. The monthlies I use heavily. Also, I really rely on them. They mirror almost to a T everything that I put into my Hobonichi Weeks Mega, but that's only because I didn't ever want to feel what I began to feel like with my Weeks Mega and Pocket Moleskine Daily last year in the past, feeling like I had to take both because one was just too small to hold the things that I thought I might need on the go, you know what I'm saying? So what drew me to this initially was how large these monthly boxes are. So I'd be a fool to not utilize these heavily, which I really have done. And I put things far out. It's really all the same way. I plan far out. I don't really care which way, how it looks. I get a lot of the info on paper and put a lot of the big points so I know. And I put little trigger list words to myself, like when I need to start planning certain things, and I do enjoy that. I have this labeled as like a routines page. I have not put together, like in my brain, I have an idea of what I want the year to look like and my word of the year. Like I already have that. I haven't gone as in depth as I have in the past and listed out what that looks like as far as my marriage, finances, work, personal, motherhood, homemaking, like all. I haven't done that this year. And when I kind of get that wild hair, I do want to. I just haven't really felt called to do that because I've really just been on like a good track of maintaining practices and I don't even want to say habits because again that word kind of freaks me out sometimes, but maintaining practices and routines and little things that I've been trying to do throughout the days. And not every day is, you know, a hit, but it takes those days that are misses sometimes to get you where you're supposed to be. So the way that I use this, like I said, is, so that's that page. And then at the start of the month, there's always this like coming up page. I'm using this really as just like a quick little sticky note hub right now. At the end of January, I might go through and just list like things that went well, things that didn't go well, or just a few memories, or I might like put a picture of what our family looked like in January, or I don't know. I want to be creative with how I use that page, and I don't know how I want to do it yet, so we're just leaving it as is. These are just a mixture of, like I said, they look very, I'm not going to go through everything. It's very similar to how I use my Pocket Moleskine daily. I'll do like a full flip through of this at like a later point in time. This also has notes pages here in the back. I haven't really committed. Oh, I did commit. I'm going to put like a list of all of our monthly bills between both my husband and I. And then we've consolidated one of our, like, some of our credit cards. And so this was like all the year of the loan payment to like pay those off in full, hopefully. Big goals by the end of the year. And I haven't really used the other pages yet. I'm thinking about maybe like a grocery trigger list, just because I do use this out and about, like things I always know I get at the grocery store. I don't know. Or I can use one page as like, I was going to say maybe like a makeup reference list. I don't know. Things that like when you go out and about, you're like, oh, what size shoe did she wear as opposed to her? Or what makeup color did I like? That might be beneficial on a page like this. And then lastly, I was not expecting, so the YouTube videos I saw were like, I wasn't expecting how thin this book would be. And it made me think that this book was going, not that it's thick, it's very thin, but it made me think this book was going to be even thinner than this. Like the binding is pretty thick, if you ask me. Like, as opposed, I thought this was just going to be like, kind of like one of these types of books, like a quick little like staple. Like that's the way I felt like I saw it described, was that it was going to be like a very thick, like kind of stapled version. And I don't know, I was just expecting it to be even thinner than this. I'm happy with how it turned out. I've purchased this it was like only a couple bucks, and I kind of purchased it on a whim. It's designed, it's like the little supplement so that it's even smaller, so it fits right in the back and it kind of like closes in on itself. So I do enjoy that. It's not obviously then like a true A6 size, I guess. But what I have been doing with this is it's not decorated, it doesn't have stickers, it's literally just pen to paper. And this was the week that I got it, and I just tried to like back plan as to how I wanted to use it. And I think how I'm using it is going to be what's in my weeks in a very watered down version. Very big things that happen specifically on those days I'm going to put here. Quick to-do lists that I want to do on those days that involve me going out of the house, making a special outing to do these to-do lists. Those are going to go on here. That's why you'll see things like this. And when I back planned it, I tried to put things like cleaning all this stuff, and you know, trash can clean it. Like, I don't think I need to put that stuff. When I would use this would be if I'm around the house and this is the only planner I have, and I'm referencing my monthly and adding into my dailies. I can look at a weekly view and see even some of those like big things, such as I need to go out of the house to pick up my tailor shop things. I need to go out of the house to do a school meeting. I need to go out of the house to do a haircut. And that's really all I'm using it for. It's nothing special. This is not something, and I've thought about this too with, you know, how my brain works with archiving things. This is not something that would be archived. It doesn't hold any information that's any more or less important or different than what is already kept in here or in my Hobonichi weeks. It's just exactly what it's called to design to do, a supplement to this, so that in the event I feel like I'm not catching everything in my monthly in order to form a full-blown daily, I can look at this and get a quick weekly overview that might be a little bit more intense as to what is offered in my monthly already. And so that's really the way that this was designed, that I could just take this with me out and about. And clearly I have like some receipts stuffed in here, and I'm really enjoying this. I love the paper. I love that it's white and bright. I love it. I don't mind this. At first when I opened it, I was like, ooh, I don't know, like this amount of space is probably similar to what I already had in my Pocket Moleskine daily, which is true. I'm not afraid to use, like, to write and cover up some of these things in the bottom. So I think that that's what's kind of like changed how I thought about it too. It was because I felt like I only had this small amount of space, but I'm really trying hard to get away from like that idea of thinking and just write everywhere. Even if I'm writing over words, like just write everywhere and fill it up how I need to fill it up. And I've just really been enjoying it. I really, really have. So this is like my end all be all. This is my everything. I'm very obsessed with both of these, with the covers, like how I imagine this year going in these two, like mid-month check-in. It is going exactly that way, and that could make me not any more happy. So yeah, that's all I really have. That's my planning system. With how in-depth I can go now with both of these, I don't ever feel like I have to take one or the other. I'm trying to think of like any last minute things that you could like have a question about if I saw something like this. This is something that I pre-plan in. Like, I don't mind going through and writing things that I already know are going to happen. Like, that doesn't freak me out. So I do open this up and truly use it as planning, whereas I also, at the end of the day, will go in, and if there's little blank spots, go in and write and fit things in, and sometimes I'll put, like, a personal little journaling thing in there. I'll try and put a little, you know, photo in there, and it's just exactly what I've always done. It's a healthy mix of pre-planning, to-do list, daily things that I need to get done, the monotonous things, and the exciting things. It's really how I've just always used a daily planner. A big mixture between memory and to-do lists. And if some days look just like pen and paper, that's fine. Like, there's some days, like there was one day that it was just like very blah, and that's fine. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. Yeah, that's how I use those. I really thoroughly enjoy both, and yeah, I hope that this video was helpful, or at least it was interesting, and you were able to have a cup of coffee and a few minutes to yourself while you watched, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!